for
From
everybody.
the Fantasy Football Happy Hour desk, Connor Rogers, Matthew Berry, with fantasy football legend, NFL legend, all-pro running back, and proud fantasy life investor.
Had to have it.
Austin
Get it in there.
Ekeler.
Let's
Here
go.
he is,
There
number
it is.
30 on
There
the
it is.
field, number 1 in your hearts. Well, you know what? One thing I should let's start here, Austin. I always say this, and this came up on the show. I'd be proud fantasy life investor, and Jane Connor would be like, "We know he's a fantasy life investor. Are you sure he's proud? Maybe he's just contractually obligated."
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Can we use proud?
I think you
He
got to give me the update.
Yeah, we're
And
doing
then I'll
good.
tell you if I'm
All right,
proud or
fair
not.
enough.
How are things
All
doing?
right? This
Fair
is all
enough.
riding on his shoulders over
Yeah.
here, so I'll let you know if I'm proud after he tells me how we're doing.
All right, we doubled revenue.
I'm very
We're doing
proud.
well.
There we
Good.
go.
Proud is
There
an
you go.
understatement.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Austin, you have your own show, Ekeler's Edge, and we know you got a lot of playing left in you, but is broadcasting in the cards after your career?
It's one of those things where I've started to dabble in a little bit, right,
Yeah.
and build my reputation. But is it? I don't know. I can't fully say yes yet because I feel like that's like me shifting my mind to
Right.
like being retired, and I'm like, no. Like I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom doing that yet. And so it's like, let me just get this football career like all the way through. Let me see it all the way through, and then we'll start looking at those options when they come.
But do you have fun with the streaming
Love
and
it.
the podcast? We can
Absolutely
tell, like
love
the
it.
energy
Yeah,
is
yeah,
there
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said this privately to you. I've said this on the air to you when we've talked to you before. But I don't think I have ever seen a player smartly embrace fantasy football.
Yeah.
By the way, and not just fantasy football, but also gaming, because I know you have a big Twitch
Yep.
channel. But like just different communities of fans,
Yes.
and not just slap your name on it or whatever,
Right.
but truly engage, be
Yeah.
part of the community, and
Yep.
be one of us. I don't think I've ever seen that, and I think, what's been amazing is that the community all the communities have responded in a big way. Like Austin, he's one of us.
Yeah, and so here's the power of community is, let me back up. There's two really like big opportunities in football.
Yeah.
One is going and playing, right,
Yeah.
and building up your compensation and all of that, and having a great career. But then there's the other part, which is the fans that are also there along your entire journey with you, and they actually are rooting for you, the same thing that you're trying to go do. So there's a synergy that we have, and so it's not like I'm taking every moment of my day and trying to go and hang out with fans and things like that. But I am recognizing, like, I see you, I appreciate you, right? I'll do the fantasy show to give access. You guys
Yeah.
can send in questions, things like that. And so it's a small part of my day that shows that I appreciate all the people that are supporting me, not only in football, but also in the fantasy side and the sports betting and all that, because it's become a new craze. And just saying, I appreciate the support, thank you. And then people love it because they don't really get that from all of our other guys. And so I see it as an opportunity to get recognition, to show, hey guys, like I do see you. I'm from a small town. So I'll take any of the support I could possibly get, and I still have that small town kid that lives with me.
How many fantasy teams are you able to manage during the season?
I have a manager for my fantasy team.
Okay, well, that
And
helps a
so,
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, really during season, it's like, I could keep looking at these, but I'm not looking at every single player like, I need to drop, I need to add.
Right.
Like that's overkill for me. So I have, Riley, shout out to Riley, who was managing my teams for me this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Austin, a lot's been made about your future playing in terms of where you might go as you enter into free agency. I'm curious, listen, we all want to get paid, and you need to be paid. We won't get into the whole running backs are disrespected conversation here, but my question is outside of the money, what's most important to you as you look for next year? Is it coaching? Is it scheme fit? Is it offensive coordinator?
Yes.
Is it offensive
Yes.
line?
All of that. All of
Chance
it.
to win.
Culture. Yeah,
Culture.
all of it. And I think even just learning from what we went through with the Chargers last year, I think I could, bring back some actually valuable lessons that I'm looking forward to even helping that team work through with Jim now coming in. And so if it was with the Chargers, like I'm not shutting any doors, would be open to absolutely coming back. I think that's going to be a new jump start for that team. But it comes down to quality. You're talking about qualitative things and not necessarily quantitative. That's why you put the money aside. And it's so important going into year 8 that I'm looking at those things. And it really comes down to, does it align, right? It's not, is it there? Is it at a level? It's like, hey, how are you going to use Austin? Or he's going to be a rotation third string guy? Like I have to put myself in a position where I can make an impact, and for my mental, right? And because now I'm coming off of a year where Austin had a down year, our whole team had a down year, so that doesn't define who I am as a player, right? It's definitely not a good thing going into free agency. You want to have your best year, but it's what I have to deal with, and it's my reality right now. And so that's why I'm curious to see kind of how it plays out and how these teams kind of take on the idea of having Austin on their team.
One thing that's
go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing that's interesting, though, is that we talked about this the other day, especially with Greg Roman being hired as the coordinator in the Chargers. When Harbaugh was with the Niners in the pros, like, he had the run heaviest offense in the NFL during that phrase. Roman, whether it was in Baltimore or Buffalo or with Harbaugh, he's always been very run heavy. So it's going to be a big part of what they're doing with the Chargers. They could use an Austin Ekeler for sure.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of running backs that are out there in the market, and who fits that scheme best? That's the decision they're going to have to make. If you can't force a square peg into a round hole. It goes back to that saying. You can't force it. And so if you have someone that maybe fits better to your scheme and they're out there, they're probably going to go get that. And that's why the qualitative part comes back in. Where do I want to go? Is it, hey, we're going to be running downhill every single time? It's not my game. I caught 2 years ago. I caught 104, 107 passes.
Sure. Last
year, we forgot we could throw me the ball. So I don't know what's going on there. And so it was almost forced in a way. And we saw what happened. And so it's like I want to be in a place where, hey, I'm used to my strengths. And if it's going to be running the ball, every single time downhill, then it's probably not where I'm going to be best fit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Being with the Chargers for so long, you know a thing or two about playing the Chiefs. What is something that the general fan or public doesn't realize that is so tough going against them? Everybody knows Mahomes. Everybody knows what they could do throwing the ball and running the ball. But what is something that maybe people miss, maybe with their defense?
The linebackers are extremely athletic.
Yeah, Willie Gay can fly.
Extremely athletic. It's like I described it earlier as it's like a safety net before your safeties.
Right.
Like these guys can cover, they can run, they can hit, they're fast, right? They can fill holes, they can drop back in the zone and play zone. Like they are extremely athletic, and so that is, I think, one of the staples of their defense that maybe isn't talked about because it's collective of them.
Right.
And they took Drew from us, last year, right? He's a great player. They have Bolton there, who's right in the middle there. That guy's I call him a sawed-off shotgun.
Dude, he really is. He's like hammering a nail.
Oh my God, and he hits.
Yeah.
He hits. And so I would say that if you're looking for something that, to watch for the Chiefs and see something special that you might not be obvious, linebackers.
Two great running backs in this game, Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs, of course, Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers. How do you see this one playing out on Sunday? You got a winner? You got a pick?
I don't really care who wins. I hope they tie.
No, for me, Super Bowl tie.
For me, I'm like, look, I want all the guys to get through healthy and then also, right, have a good game, right? Have a good competitive game. Yeah.
So you mentioned health, and you mentioned last year, not the kind of year you would hope to have, Austin. Yeah. You were hurt earlier in the season, and of course, fantasy managers, we love listening to Ekeler's Edge, because you'll be like, I'm trying to work my way. Hey, it's not going to be this week, guy. Like, you're always so transparent, which we really appreciate. I feel like, tell me, I feel like you weren't 100% healthy all year long. You're one of the toughest guys in the NFL, and you always want to gut it out for your team. And I thought there was no better example of this is like that awful Thursday night game where, the 70 points, 60 points, and you're still out there in the fourth quarter. I'm like, why is Austin Ekeler in this game that's decided, but you're still screw it.
So people, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but to me, that's an example of your toughness. Yeah, so, talk about that, but I also want to talk about how you feel health-wise.
So anyway, injury, obviously high ankle sprain, first game of the season, sucks. Especially because that game had 150 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here we go, we're back. You know, and then high ankle sprain in the fourth quarter, freaking, get land on from behind. Unfortunate, and then miss the next 4 weeks. Come back, another ankle sprain on the other ankle versus the Chiefs, and it's just like I'm dealing with these ankles all flipping season. Obviously, I'm a running back, right? I need to be agile. I need to be able to move, and when you have both your ankles taped down, it pretty much prohibits a lot of that. A lot of what makes me special anyway. A lot of quick direction cuts and things like that. So. Definitely had an effect, on me this year. It was unfortunate. Like injuries, you push through them, but there's ones that can, inhibit, or prohibit some of your action, and that definitely played a factor in this year. So sucks, especially going into free agency. But even going back to your other comment, the Raiders game, there's certain plays that are called for Austin.
Yeah.
It's this is Ekeler 11, Ekeler 12, or whatever the personnel is. So we in the fourth quarter, Kellen calls up an Ekeler 12 play, and my coach Derek Foster, he can put in a different running back. He's like, he looks at me, I don't even look. He looks at me, sorry, I didn't mean.
Sure, it's okay. It's all right. We're taped. We can bleep it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I run. I look. I don't even think twice. I'm going in the game because they were trying to get me out of there, but I was like, this is my play. I'm gonna go make a play.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's a screen. Finally, I'm getting my screens right, and so boom, screen. Make a couple guys.
I've been waiting for this.
I give the big first down signal, and I got so much crap for that. Oh, you're losing by 40 points. Why? I'm like, I don't quit playing.
Yeah,
I'm still out here
going.
I'm on the field. I'm trying to make plays happen. If I do, I'm gonna be excited about it. I don't care if we're losing by 100. I'm still going. Because that's my job. As a fan, you can give up quick. I can never give up. I got to keep going. And so that's why I was into that at the fourth quarter, when we were getting smoked. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense now.
Well, listen, fantasy managers appreciate it always. We know Austin's giving us 110% no matter what when he can. You're here thanks to Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Austin, what do you got going on with DQ?
We got the big game coming up, of course. And if you're watching from home, well, what do you got to have? You got to have a great selection of food. It's a must, a pillar in the day. And so we think of Dairy Queen, you probably think of the Blizzard, right?
Right,
the
of
traditional
course.
Blizzard. They hand it to you, flip it over. Mine's Oreo, by the way. But they have a new menu item, which is going to be perfect for Super Bowl, and it is the honey barbecue shake and sauce and toss. Chicken strips, yes. So we got the new chicken strip item, and then also some burgers as well. So they're expanding the array of Super Bowl foods that we can also have on game day.
I will tell you, as somebody with 12-year-old daughters and is at Dairy Queen Grill and Chill quite a lot.
There you go.
The chicken strips are the bomb. I'm telling you, DQ chicken strips are legit.
Slept on because of the Blizzard, the greatness of the Blizzard.
Just overlooked.
Yes.
Overlooked.
Very slept on.
Well, there's like Dairy Queens that are just desserts that are like just the ice cream, the Blizzard, that kind of stuff, and then there's also Dairy Queen Grill and Chills that have the food. I know this because I will be hungry and I'll be like, and I'll look for a Dairy Queen near me, and it's like, it's not a Grill and Chill. It's got to be the Grill and Chill.
There you go.
But we're big DQ fans here at the happy hour as well.
Well, we appreciate him having us on.
Yeah, man, and we're always huge fans of Austin Ekeler. Always my friend.
Yes.
Fantasy football legend. Can't see where do you land next, my friend. We know you're going to bring
excited.
I appreciate it
hard.
I know. Looking forward to it as well.
There you go. Austin Ekeler.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.